Great.
Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are.
Hi, hi.
Hi. If you could come on camera, that would be fantastic. We understand sometimes you can't, but we love seeing you.
That way we know we're working with real people.
Mm.
It makes a difference. Thank you if you can be on camera and if you're willing. I know sometimes when I'm in a course of study right now and it's on Zoom, and I always notice I just watch myself going, oh, be on camera. So I do it anyway. And but I have that first little bit of resistance. So
Yeah.
welcome. I'm Michelle Goss. I'm one of the facilitators of this webinar and of this program we're going to be introducing you to today, the Next Level Coaching Program.
And I'm Jeanine Mancusi. I'm Michelle's co-creator and co-leader of the program. So we're delighted to have you. We had 50 people sign up. We know that a lot of people sign up so they can get the recording. Um, but let's see. You just want to take a minute, Michelle, and see who else might join us?
I think we can dive in because we like to start on time and end on time. So to value your presence here, um, yeah, let's go ahead and just dive in. We'll keep letting people in as they arrive and trust they will catch up. And please, as you're coming in, we have a request that you be on camera, please. It helps us create a stronger container of learning and connection. Thank you.
I was just going to say, Devin, that I saw that picture. I want to go on that hike, wherever that is. I want to be there. That was,
That is Lassen National Park
oh,
in California. And I am very passionate about travel. And when we couldn't travel in COVID, I embarked on seeing all the national parks.
oh, that's on my
Well,
bucket list.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm in
yeah.
California, so I've been to Lassen. Yeah. It's beautiful. That's great.
Great. All right, if you're just joining us, welcome. Thank you for coming on camera. If you can be on camera, that's ideal. And today we are going to introduce a framework to you that we use in our next level coaching program, but we also use it all of the time. The two of us have been using this framework for coaching for years and years and years. And once I'll speak for myself, once I learned it, it just had me relax into knowing this framework can hold the coaching. It actually holds the context of the coaching. The client brings the content, and this framework is the context. And we'll explain what we mean by that as we go through it. But you're going to get the whole framework that you could start practicing right away. You don't have to wait for the class.
What I will say is this framework has saved my butt countless times when I have felt like I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what's happening. I got confused. I don't know. Michelle and I have been coaching for many years. I started coaching in 1994. And so I've been doing this work for a long, long time. And yep, sometimes a client presents something where I'm like, okay, this is something new. And I've coached thousands of people. So I just want to underscore that this is really helpful. Both Michelle and I are in the unconscious competence place with this formula. So it's kind of like I still can't drive a stick shift car, but if you know how to do that, you know there comes a moment when you know when to put in the clutch and shift the gears and you're not thinking about it. Those of you that drive an automatic, you might have had the experience where you're driving somewhere like the gym or something that you go to all the time, and you get there and you think, I don't remember stopping at that stoplight on Hughes Road. Did I stop there? You know, it's not the best way to drive, but there's unconscious competence. So we want to acknowledge that as we give this template to you today, you're in the conscious incompetence place. So it might feel a little clunky, but we can promise you that if you hold this, if you practice this and hold it in the back of your mind, you will have very powerful transformational coaching sessions with your clients.
Yeah,
It'll increase your confidence.
absolutely. The other thing I'll say is toward the end of our time today, Roberta, who is one of the She helps hold this program for ACT leadership and manages enrollment and all the lots of details that we don't even know about. She's going to join us for the last 10 or 15 minutes to answer specific questions you might have about credentials and pathways and things that she knows all about that are ever changing and I can't keep up with. So that's why she will be joining us. So know
So
that's
this
coming.
first part is coach training. It gives you a taste of one of the modules that is in the next level program. And
Yeah.
then all your questions and how this works and all that stuff will come at the end.
Yeah.
So let's get started, yeah?
Yeah. 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 Go ahead. You look like you're
Yeah.
about to.
Well, the other thing I want to say is this program was born out of Michelle and my desire to help coaches go deeper in their work with their clients, to really take the coaching to the next level, to really fine tune how you handle deeper emotional issues. So that's another piece of the context. And so what we call this is our freedom framework, because in each session when you use this, the goal is to have your client feel more free. And it also provides more freedom for you as a coach to kind of sit back in this framework and be able to go all kinds of different places. So there are two ways to do this formula. And I'm going to start with the formula that we call SIFT. It's what you use when your client comes with an issue that is troubling them, something that they may be unhappy with. They wish it was going, something in their life that they wish was going another way. So that's the SIFT formula. And Michelle, how do we say the one where that we wanted them to celebrate? What did we decide to call that one?
It's the same SIFT.
Oh, SIFT. Okay. I thought we had a different name. Yeah, both are SIFT. So
And
you,
it's an acronym, of course, and we're going to walk you through what the acronym stands for because of the specific steps in the formula. Before we get to that, the way we want to do this today is so that it's interactive and we're not just talking at you the whole time. We want each of you to pause for a moment and think about a topic that you might bring to coaching. If you were going to have a coaching session like right now, what's the topic you would bring? And it could be a challenge you're facing, like Jeanine was mentioning, or it could be an opportunity, something great that's coming up that you want to make the most of. So take a moment because we're going to ask you to share that with a partner in just a moment. So while you're thinking, I'm going to set up breakout rooms and just be like 2 minutes of sharing. So don't feel pressure.
you're not going to coach each other. You're going to listen to each other.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
You're supposed to be coming up with a topic.
I'm going to give you an example in just one moment. I'm just going to make sure I have this set up for you.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about what this framework can do. So it provides a template for integrated change. So a lot of times, if you've been coaching for a while, you coach a client, they come back in a week or two. How did it go? Oh, well, I didn't really get around to it. Or that you celebrate. I see Samantha shaking her head. You celebrate something like they're like, wow, I had a breakthrough. It's powerful. 6 months later, same topic, different players in their scenario. It's normal for human change. But this template can help your client integrate the change so that it sticks, right? It provides an overall flow to the coaching session. It's something that you have in the back of your head. It helps the client break the pattern. This is human beings, especially in the Western world, love to have an insight. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Oh, I see how that happened. Oh, I see what I'm not doing and how that's affecting this. Now I'm going to change. Now I'm going to change. That actually does not sustain change. So we believe that there's a process for the change. Starts with the self-awareness, and then there's other steps, and that's what we're going to walk through.
Yeah.
This
So,
formula invites your client into greater authority,
mhm.
taking authority for their life, taking ownership of what's happening. You were going to say something.
um, I forgot. It's gone. Go ahead. That
So,
happens.
no, we can start, and you were going to give an example.
I was
So,
going to give an example.
yeah.
So we asked you to think of a topic. I'm going to give you an example because you're going to use your topic throughout the process as we're going to take you through all the steps. But the really step one and this is true in any coaching session, your client shows up and they say, what do you want to focus on today? What's on your heart and mind today? You're basically getting the topic. And so we're going to do that when you go into your breakout, you're going to name the topic and how are you currently relating to it? It's kind of a way of clearing it out, but just saying, here's what's what. So here's an example. If I were your partner today in this little short breakout, I would say, first of all, introduce myself. Hi, I'm Michelle. You could have a minute to do that. And then I would say, I have a retreat that's coming up at the end of next week, a week-long retreat. I've been looking forward to it for maybe 6 months. And now I'm ambivalent and I'm going back and forth. Should I go? Should I not go? Should I go? Should I not go? And I'm kind of torturing myself with indecision. I really want to go and I convince myself to go. And then I counterpoint. Yeah, but I don't want to travel that much. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm currently relating to this topic as tremendously indecisive and it's creating inner turmoil. Okay. So that's all you're going to do is just name it and how you're currently seeing your topic.
So step one of this formula is getting present.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do with your clients. You probably already do it, right? Great to
Yeah.
see you today. What's our topic? What would you like coaching on?
Yes.
Why is this
So
important to you or what's happening? That's where you are in the formula.
that's right. So if you happen to end up in a room by yourself, it's okay. Sometimes people drop when we send them to breakouts. They're like, oh, this is my time to exit. That's fine. You can just write down, just note, oh, here's my topic and here's how I'm currently seeing it. Okay, let me just do a quick double check to see if looks like most everyone right now has 2 people. Okay, I'll bring you back in 5 minutes. You'll have a minute to introduce, 2 minutes to share, and I'll tell you when to switch. Okay, here you go. Okay, Jenny, let's go to room 12.
Okay. Hi, JL, are you here? Hi, JL.
Yes, it's John. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I
Hi,
just
John.
worked out. I wasn't presentable for camera, so I had to run off.
Oh, okay. No worries. No worries. Did you get clear on your topic and kind of what's going on for you?
I know I have a topic. I do have a topic that I would like to. Do you want to hear it or?
Sure, yeah.
Um, how should I get ready for the upcoming ICF ACC exam, which I'll be taking in September?
Okay. That's a great topic. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's both an emotional component and then study stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have your recording ready?
Well, no, I'm past all that.
Oh,
I am just at the exam. The last thing I need to do is exam.
uh-huh. Yeah.
So it's been a long journey, much longer. Didn't know I'd have to go through the portfolio path, but ended up, which took considerably longer
Yeah.
than I
But you're here
expected.
now. You're here
Yeah,
now. It's great.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Good.
I mean,
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
John.
Francine.
And it's kind of it's quick, right? It's like, and you're just
Yes.
naming the topic and saying how you're relating to it. Not really much coaching happened, we hope, because there wasn't much time for it.
So
Yeah,
it is part of the template. It is part of what you do as coaches. It's what you need to do for the ICF. For those of you that are going to be taking an exam and recording, it's get present with your client, help them get present. Now we start the more formal part of the template, which is SIFT, SIFT is the acronym that we use. So the first stage of this template is self-awareness, C. S stands for C. What does the client see? Right? And you can spend a whole entire session on this part of self-awareness. And usually you don't need to spend the entire session, but it's where you start.
yeah.
So we have some suggested questions that you can ask your client. And just by the way, we will send out these questions after this session. So you don't have to worry about, oh, she just told me 10 questions. What are they? We will send this to you. But we actually want you to think about these questions. You are now both coach and client. We're sort of acting as your coach, but you're asking yourself these so you can see how this formula works. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first question you might ask is, what do you recognize about your role in this situation? What do you see about your role in this situation? What can you own about how you're contributing or what's going on here? And it could be something emotionally. So, John, when you and I were just talking, you might say, gee, I notice I have anxiety, or I notice that I'm confident. What can you own, right? This really is intellectually. What do they see, or what do you see? You're the client now. What do you see? But you're asking your client, what do you see, right?
Sometimes I'll ask a client, like, what do you already know about what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
What do you already know? Or even as you're telling me now, what are you seeing? What insights are you having?
Yeah.
And that happens a lot, right? It probably happened as you were sharing with your partner. You probably saw something a little bit new, or maybe a big thing, or it could have been a nuance. So I'll give you an example. My topic, got this retreat coming up. I'm bouncing back and forth. Should I go or not go? And what I think I even said something like, I'm torturing myself with indecision. I hadn't really seen like, oh, I'm doing that. I'm acting like it's happening to me. I'm the one who's causing the inner turmoil. And it seems like, poor me, I have to go to this retreat or not go. But that's one of the things that would come out of what do you see?
Yeah. So you can also prompt your client to complete this question or sentence. What do you see? What do you recognize? Right? What do you recognize in this? What do you understand?
Mhm.
Those are leading places you can lead them um, to think about.
One of our tips for this first step is to train your listening as a coach for what we would call victim language. like where there's no ownership, where they're not already pushing away the situation and really living as if it's happening to me. And as you listen for it, you start to invite your client to start to take ownership for their experience of the situation. And just to say, there are, of course, uh, circumstances that happen in life that are beyond our control that we're not causing directly through our actions. But you want to look at how I'm relating to it. That's me. I can definitely own that. And if I own that, then I might start to own, oh, how am I contributing to what's happening? One of the courses I'm in right now, we're looking at our unconscious commitments. What am I unconsciously committed to here? That kind of thing.
Yeah. So we'd love to hear from at least one of you. As you're thinking about these questions related to your situation, what are you seeing? What's happening for you as client? Who's willing to share?
I can.
Yes, Francine.
I think I can recognize that because the person in the conflict is so explosive, that and has reacted with such anger, that I can own how I react to that, and I don't have to get explosive or defensive. I can just say, if you want to talk about this, let me know when. We can follow these ground rules, which I'm going to set up, which is that there won't be any accusations or raising voice, and these are the issues that need to be discussed. It's a fairly businessy type of thing, so it doesn't involve like family or something like that. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you can own your own reaction and set some boundaries. There's a lot of things you're seeing there, it seems like.
Yeah, I can also own the timing of it and not sending a snotty text in response to a snotty text.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And even own, oh, I feel the urge to send a snotty text.
Yeah.
So this is where we would spend more time. Is like, oh, and then if we were working, we're not going to do this now, Francine, but we might even look at, oh, well, let's just welcome the part of you that wants to send like, I want to fight back. I want to jab them. Like that gets to be here too, because we want to own the panorama of what's happening in this scenario.
There's something nice about that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Fran-
Permission.
yes. Francine, what Michelle and I often do when that comes up is we'll tell us the snotty text, like get it off your chest. You're never going to send it. But what does that part need to say so that it gives it voice? And then it's like, okay, now that you've said that, what's here? Right.
Right.
It's about clearing the space, not trying to work around or step over something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at her face, how she's smiling, like, ooh, I get to say what that snotty
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Francine. So let's keep moving. The next step in the SIFT process is I, and that stands for impact. I've put that in the chat for you too. And this is where we start to slow down a little more and go, oh, wait a minute. What's the emotional impact I'm having out there, or what's the emotional impact on me? And we really are beginning to look at the emotional underscore impact, because often that can get stepped over. If we're trying to change something, most of us have a habit of, what's the problem? Let me brainstorm solutions. And that is a bypass. It steps over all of this emotional content that is going to show up somewhere else if we don't deal with it when it's present right here and now.
This is the key to having transformation stick.
Yeah.
Is honoring the emotion. Faye's saying, is I the client? Yeah, it's right. So it's what is the emotional impact on you, client? And it can be that this person is having, oh, it's tough for me to be in conflict. Explosive anger is hard for me, I get scared, or man, I lean in and I just want to fight back, whatever it is. But then it can also be, what's the impact of taking the ownership of what you see?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I don't know, Michelle, if you want to speak about it, you don't have to,
Yeah.
but like in Michelle's situation, now that I see I'm torturing myself back and forth, what's the emotional impact of the torturing?
Yeah.
What's that
I
like
will.
for you?
Yeah, I will say, because we can. This is also the place where somatic work comes in. So I could say, all right, first of all, what's the impact of that back and forth, back and forth? I feel scattered. Am I like physically, I'm not even aware of my body. It's like all my energy is up here in my head, bouncing back and forth like this ping pong match. And then when I slow down, the emotional impact on me is, as I mentioned earlier, there's some distress. And I also notice, oh, there's some sorrow here. That's kind of a surprise. If I was just going to, well, just do my pros and cons list, I wouldn't find that. So if you were coaching me through with this process, you would have me slow down and actually feel the sorrow. Let it run its course. Let it have, like, it's here to teach me or show me something, or it's here just to move. Any of that is fine. But I want to slow down enough to feel the impact. What is the impact of this ping pong match?
Yeah. And you can start to see that that's where the coaching starts to go deeper,
Mhm.
right? It's not just intellectual conversation, pros and cons, as Michelle said in her case, but what is the impact? Now, when you have a long-term connection with your client, occasionally, not for an ICF exam, never for an ICF exam, but as coach to client relating, you can give yourself permission to say what the impact is on you as you're listening to them. So, because sometimes clients will skim over something, and I have found it very helpful to say, wow, I'm noticing as you're speaking, I have deep sadness. I am sorry that that's happening for you. Or, wow, I'm getting activated, like angry and charged up. Is anything like that happening for you? You can put yourself in there in service of the client to help them get deeper. But again, it's not in a first call, it's not in an early part of the relationship. But I have worked with some of my clients since 1997. It's 2026. We have a very close relationship. So I have permission from them to say what I'm.
Also, yeah, it's also a place where you could say, oh, I notice as you talk, I feel tightness in my chest. What are you noticing? Or even to ask, like, what's the body? I'll ask, because some people don't, they hate that question, what's happening in your body? So I'll ask, what's happening in your system? For some reason, that's easier for some people to answer. So we ask you, as you look at your own topic, the issue you're exploring, whether it's a, challenge or a positive opportunity, what do you notice about the impact? Wondering if anyone will share just one piece. You don't have to divulge the whole content. Just what's one thing you're noticing? Yes, Anne.
Hi there. It's such a pleasure to be here. I am I have this, what looks like the ideal job on the outside, but I've had it for like 33 to 35 years.
Mm.
And I'm pretty well known at what I do and blah, blah, blah. I've been very fortunate. And I also coach and I also write. And I'm sort of wondering when will be the moment that I want to step out and do the coaching and writing and speaking full time. And the impact of being in between is great. I can feel it right now. I mean, it is like this whole torso discomfort that I feel. And then the way I cope with it is I go to the office and I experience all the love of the community around me and
Yeah.
all the young people who I work with and the joy of being helpful to them. And that sort of salves over my desire for this deeper purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
keep myself in the limbo, in the seesaw, by sort of maybe not sitting long enough with it. And so I think the realization I'm having from your very wise words is the idea that maybe I need to go somewhere and sit.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You know, and you're just so beautifully illustrating how this process actually works because we're delivering it as a sequential, you know, see what's happening, what's the impact. It is natural to organically do what you just did, which is you feel the impact and you see something more. So there's
Yeah.
more that's revealed when you start to own the impact. And
Yeah.
like, oh, I see what I'm doing. Oh, and now I see. And then we might look at, we're not going to do this now, but we might go deeper and say, and what's the impact on you of even considering sitting with this more? What happens
Yes.
for you as you do that? What
Well,
opens, what closes, etc.
yeah, I was going to add one more S
Yes.
word to sift. I was going to add an S on the end, which is silence,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
which is
That's good.
welcoming. It's hard to do in our chaotic world,
Mhm.
but there's something about silence. Even I was thinking of when Francine shared about conflict, very powerful tool with an angry person,
Yes.
Mhm,
silence.
mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Because
great.
then they're suddenly sitting in their own dirty diapers.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yeah. That's great, Anne. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thanks so much.
I just want to underline again, you could spend an entire coaching session, see impact, see impact, see, and it would be a very valuable session, especially if at the end you say, what are you taking away from this session today? What are you bringing with you? Right?
I want to say one more thing before we go to the F of SIFT. You know it's time to go to this next step when the person has really deeply owned something. So, for example, in my example, what I can own is this is a very old pattern, something I do when I really want something, but I think I haven't really deserved the right to it, earned the right to it, so I withhold it from myself with indecision. And I think that's probably at the heart of the sorrow. Like, I'm withholding something I really want. And then, if we were going to go deeper, we could look just like you're saying, and silence and slowing it way down. And what's the impact on you in withholding from yourself? And there'd be a point at which it's natural to go to the next step. Now I'm going to show you both sides of this because this is where the formula kind of splits tracks. If you're working with a challenging topic, F stands for forgive. Can I honestly, am I willing to forgive myself? Or F stands for fan the flames. If it's a positive thing that I'm taking ownership of, which is, as you probably know, working with people, equally challenging to own like our gifts and our talents and our beauty and our magnificence. We're like, man, little old me, or that's arrogant. But to really own that and be witnessed in owning it. And so there's nothing to forgive there, but there's more to expand into. There's even more to own.
And, fan the flames would equal celebration. How do
Yeah.
you continue to integrate who you were in that situation? What are you celebrating? What do you want to honor is fan the flames, right?
Mhm.
And forgiveness is really responding to yourself with understanding and compassion.
Mhm.
And you could hear the change. If you listen carefully, you could hear the change in Michelle's voice, right? When she was saying, oh, I withhold this because I'm not sure that I've earned it,
Mhm.
that I deserve it, right? She got softer with herself. So that's an opportunity to talk to your client about, you know, how can you face yourself with compassion and understanding for why you responded this way?
Yeah.
Are you willing to forgive yourself?
Mhm.
You know,
Right. And it can be as this is also a step that's easy to overlook, to blow past, because it's uncomfortable for many of us. And because sometimes there is, well, maybe not sometimes, often there's an association with forgiveness and wrongdoing. Like somehow it gets like shame attaches to it, like, oh, I'm so bad. No, it's actually, I'm willing to love and accept myself and bring compassion, as you said, Jeanine, and I'm willing to interrupt the torture, the blame, the whatever I'm doing to myself that's creating this difficult impact. I'm willing to stop doing that and forgive myself for doing it in the first place. without excuses. I
Right.
don't need excuses. I can just make the choice to forgive and to make sure it's genuine. Yep, I forgive myself. Well, the next, it's not like that, right? It's like,
Or, I know, I forgive myself. No, actually, you're not.
yeah, yeah.
So to really look, it comes at a moment when you notice the client is feeling remorse.
Mhm.
They feel sad about this pattern, like, oh, I've been doing this to myself, and I quote unquote feel bad, not shaming bad, but I feel sad that I've been keeping myself trapped in this, that I insist that I have to earn or that I deserve it before I give it to myself. And then there's lots of coaching that can be done on deserving and earning and all that stuff, right? There's ways you can help your client.
And we often will say, all right, just, if I'm working with the client on the call on forgiveness, can say, well, just say out loud, I honestly forgive myself for, and finish the sentence. Sometimes it's an off the coaching call process where we might say, you know what, this is a big deal. So this may be something where you create a ritual of forgiveness, where you go to someplace beautiful in nature and you sit with yourself for a while and then you forgive yourself. Or it could be a quick, you know what? I'm really done with this. I am ready to forgive myself and move beyond it. Great. Now, on the fan the flames side, let's say if Jeanine was saying celebrate, it can be, really questions like, what do you want to celebrate here? What gift of yours are you willing to own? And just say it out loud to me as your witness, as your coach. And I'm here to like say, yes. And what else? Right? So it's
Yeah.
really that fanning the flames.
We have a particular way of using the word triumph. And a triumph, the way we look at it, is a victory of character. That you stepped out of an old way of doing something or an old way of talking to yourself or out of a habit that took you down the wrong path. And you triumphed over that by who you were, by the choice you made. So that's often the place that I'm looking in the celebration. There's also things to celebrate. I have clients who've run marathons, who did the training, who put themselves through it. That's worth celebrating. But I also have them look at, who did you have to be to
Mhm.
keep the discipline going? What happened at mile 17? What happened at mile 22 or whatever? Who did you find in there? What was the force you found? And celebrating that personal triumph. So it can be really fun because change happens from both of those things, forgiving and feeling the remorse and saying, okay, I'm going to make a commitment. I'm not going to treat myself like that anymore. Right? I don't want to do that to myself anymore. I don't want to do that to my partner or my children or my dog or whatever. I want to change. I really am ready to change. Or, wow, thank you for having me pause because I was just going to I'm looking through the internet. Now I want to go to Boston or now I want to do New York or I'm doing Chicago Marathon. And you just forget, like, what did it take to be
Mhm.
there? Right? Same thing if your client wrote a book or got a promotion, those kinds of things.
Yeah. So we're curious. You may or may not be clear about, because you really haven't gone through the full process of looking at impact and ownership yet. Um, but just curious, how is this landing for you when you imagine either the scenario you're looking at for yourself, like what would it be to forgive yourself? Or how do you imagine this would, you'd be able to use this in working with clients? Just want to have a chance for you to share anything that's coming to you. And not fully formed ideas are perfectly welcome. Yes, Kim.
Yeah, I think for me, it's giving both the client and myself permission to spend time
Mm,
in that area of impact. One of the things that resonated with me in what you said is you could end up spending a whole session on that. And as I'm going through the training right now and preparing for the certification, it's like, oh no, I have to get everything done in 30 minutes or less, right? So it's good to be able to give ourselves permission outside of that to be able to do that for
Yeah.
clients.
yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know why what you said brought this to me, but it had me think, this SIFT framework is always running in the background for me as a coach. And it's like my map. Where are we? Where are we right now? Are we ready for forgiveness? And I can even ask my client directly, do you feel like you have sufficient ownership to say, I'm ready to forgive, or is there more? Or, oh, it feels like you're seeing more. There's more you want to say about the insights you're having, deepening that. So it's always a map that's running. Go ahead, Jeanine.
It is a wonderful map for the ACC or the PCC or the MCC exams.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful thing in addition to the requirements that ICF has about getting clear on the topic, checking in the middle, are we hitting the target? And then at the end, following through, like, what are you taking away and do you want accountability? All of that can fit into this formula as well. But
Yeah.
it's a wonderful, you will pass the exam.
Mm-hmm.
We'll pass the exam.
So let's go to T, the last piece, which is transform. So often this happens organically if we are authentically owning our impact, and forgiving or fanning the flames. It's almost like change wants to happen, and we've removed the barricade. So there's a much more of a state of flow. And there are ways to anchor it and help your client integrate it. So it could be things like, out of this experience and exploration today, what's a promise you want to make to yourself? What's a new commitment you have related to this topic or related to what came up here?
Yeah.
Would be a way for the transformation to like turn it into action, even if it's a reflection. I'm going to reflect on this more, or I'm going to make an apology to someone because I was doing my thing that I do and I was unaware.
You can simply ask, how will you change? How will
Mhm.
you change? After this discovery today, how will you change? And then you can go into some actions to take, right?
Yeah.
They can be about sitting with an insight, or they can be, I'm going to call this person, or I'm going to, do something tangible. And in the celebration, fan the flames scenario of this, you could say, how will you expand on this success? How will you integrate the success, right? You can ask those, and that locks in the transformation, and then you want to revisit it from time to time. How's it going, right?
And you can trust yourself as a coach if you hear your client say, yes, I'm making a new promise to myself, or yes, I want to change this thing. You can trust yourself to know, great, let's create a plan for you. Actually get specific.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of the rubber meets the road moment of, oh, well, I was just kidding about making that
Right.
change.
I'm not, something just came up. I'm not ready. And that tells you, oh, we go back to, what do you see, or what's the impact? You could even, that's a great place to ask, what's the impact of this? I notice you pulling back a little bit. What's happening over there? What are you feeling? What's happening in your system? Michelle, I know this was fast, and I know you've been toggling back and forth in your life about this for a while. Is there anything you want to say about this step for yourself? What will you change, having seen and felt that sadness?
Yeah. Well, one thing I am seeing I will do, it's very interesting because um, the issue looked like it was the issue of indecision, but the deeper issue is withholding from myself.
Mhm.
And so the change I want to make is I want to do some more exploring and reflecting on what's driving that, what's underneath that, and that you can probably already hear and feel it starts a new arc of SIFT, which is fine,
Yeah.
right? When we send you the materials from today, you'll get these questions. They're great journaling prompts as well. So if you, like Jeanine and I work this formula for ourselves all the time. Of course, we bring it to our clients, but we take ourselves through it separately, together. So it's just a great tool for journaling if that's something you're interested in as well.
So I see Roberta's here. That's that little brain kind of graphic down there. Roberta.
Hi, Roberta.
Hi, Roberta.
Hello,
Um,
everyone.
so good to have you here. So
Thank you. Good to
we're
be
just
here.
going to wrap this up and turn it over to you. But what I do want to say is this is the last offering of the Next Level program. We've been doing it. Michelle and I were trying to see, um, is this the 11th cohort, Roberta? Yeah, the 11th time that we're doing it. And we love this program. We know that it works. We know that you'll leave having a lot of tools that you can use to do deeper work with your clients. In addition, the students who've taken this have told us the biggest change they see is in themselves because you're practicing with each other. You're doing each technique with each other. And so you're growing in your own self-awareness and transformation as well. So we would love to have you join us in this last hurrah of the Next Level program. Um, ACT Leadership is focusing on team leadership and executive coaching, which you can use these skills with, but they're going to be offering some new things, and they're going to weave us in somewhere in the future as well. But you can see I have a little bittersweet sadness. I love this program. I love leading it. We'd love to have you. Let's do this together. Yeah.
I would like to point to just a couple of things that we've alluded to here today. And that is, we may have mentioned, or I may have used it in my example, there's a part of me that blah, blah, blah. We start off the program with our version of parts work that is universal. And it's deep and powerful and easy to remember and easy for clients to get. So that's the first module we take you through, and we build intentionally. We start with that because all of the other work, it's really useful to know who are you talking to over there when your client's talking. What part of them is talking, and to train your clients in that model as well. And then we do a deep dive into a very different way of working with emotions. And then we have a lot of other stuff that comes, including this formula that we use. But I wanted to point to a couple of things we've already highlighted today, just a touch.
I'll just also throw in, I'm one of these people like love the one you're with. So when you take the program, you'll hear me say, "Oh, this is my favorite topic." Well, they all are. It's like whichever one I'm teaching becomes my favorite one. And so I particularly like one where we give you a tool for working with the inner critic. That's another wonderful tool. So more to discover. Yeah.
And before we turn it over to you, Roberta, I'd love to turn back to the group here. Any insights, excuse me, insights or questions about this formula that you want to share or ask? We'd love to hear anything. Maybe you're deeply reflective.
I think it's going to be really helpful, especially the impact and the forgiving or fan the flames, because I think it really will have us sit with the client a lot longer. And then also, especially fan the flames, it's nice to know like what to, a way to really help them dig in and celebrate and then either the integration or expanding. I think that's going to be incredibly helpful.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
One of the challenges, Lori, with Fan the Flames is that we as human beings can say, yeah, that was great, but I wish I had. And so it's really important as the coach to say, okay, we're not talking about that here. We really want to expand what worked, who you became, what there is to celebrate. I was just doing that with my trainer at the gym is 28 years old, and he had a big success over the weekend. And I was, helping him do it. But I wish I had. And I said, okay, Zach, stop. That's for later, But I think it's a great way to really work with celebration.
Yeah.
Keep expanding it. Yeah.
Thanks, Lori. Great. All right.
So here's Roberta. She can help you. She can talk about any questions you have about taking this program and integrating it into the PCC, ICF requirements and exam. Anything else you want to know about the program? Hi, Roberta. Thanks for coming.
Thank you guys so much for having me. So yes, just quickly, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to either pop them in the chat or you can come off mute and ask your questions. This program is accredited for 40 hours through the ICF. And so if you take this program, it can count towards maybe an ACC renewal. It can count towards PCC if you're going for PCC, or if you already have your PCC and you're up for renewal, you can use those hours for either of those tracks. And we are starting in just 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today, the program starts. So pretty exciting. But also, where's the year going, right? Like I can't believe we're practically at the end of August. So September 9th starts module 1. There are 6 modules. The modules are 2 hours a piece. Every other Wednesday, for the most part. I think there might be one where there's 2 Wednesdays in a row. But practically every other Wednesday, you meet for 2 hours with the group for your learning. You are able to miss up to 2 sessions if need be because of scheduling conflicts. We would just require you to watch the recording and then do a guided summary after which, and then you would receive credit for the program. It is level 2 certified as well. So again, if you want to go on to the PCC, you are able to use this program for that as well. So with the PCC requirements, once you complete the program, we can go into our, as long as you're an ACT alum, right? So when I say ACT alum, meaning alum of the LPCC program, you can go into our level 2 add-on program. And what that provides for you is 2 additional mentor coaching hours, and then we'll also complete your performance evaluation. And I'm the program manager for both Next Level and that level 2 program that you would be involved in if you decide to go ahead and sign up with us. So any
I
questions?
want to put in a plug for
Yes.
having ACT evaluate you for your ACC or PCC. I have they helped me renew my PCC and all that. It was so much easier, so much easier, and more loving, more loving.
Oh.
So more personal, more loving. So if you're thinking of doing that, I highly recommend doing it with them. Yeah. So we know sometimes people show up on this because they're interested in getting their PCC and want to know all about the requirements and all that. Are there any questions about that for Roberta?
I have a question. So if we did the LPCC and we wanted to go for the next level, does this do enough of the hours, or you still need another like 20 hours or something? Like how many more hours is there before you need to sit for the next level?
And so can I ask just a quick question? Or when you're referring to hours, are you talking about CCEs or are you talking about coaching hours?
The CCEs, because
Okay, perfect. Yes.
I know coaching
So
hours is 500, but the
correct. Yes,
yeah.
yes. So CCEs, our LPCC program is 100 CCEs. Next level is 40. So in order to go to your PCC for ICF, you need 125 hours. So next level will cover that if you got those two together, LPCC and next level. But now just also speak on the coaching hours quickly. So for your ACC, so for X LPCC program, you have to have 50 coaching hours to complete the program. For your ACC, it's 100 coaching hours. As you noted, yes, it's 500 coaching hours for PCC. However, for us to complete your performance evaluation at the level 2, we only require 150 coaching hours. So some people, may have already had that after about 2 years of they started the program. 2 years later, they're about that at that 150 hours. Then you can absolutely do your level 2 performance evaluation with us when you've got that amount. So you don't have to be at 500 yet. Some people wait till they're 300, 350. They want to be a little further along. Some people kind of want to get it out the way. Kind of personal preference. And the one thing for ICF requires is I believe your final 40 of that 500 have to be within a year of your applying. For us, doesn't matter, right? So as long as you've accumulated at least that 150, we can do your performance evaluation.
Wow. So then they just wait for the number of hours and submit that, and then they can get their PCC.
Correct. Yep.
So you do it when you're really fresh in the learning.
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
that's
That would
cool.
be my advice. Again,
That's
everyone's
cool.
personal preference
Yeah,
is
really.
different, but that would be my advice.
Yeah.
And then you do the proctored exam. It would be similar to the ACC if you've already gone through that process, but then there's also your application and proctored exam for ICF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Very cool.
Any other questions? All right.
Sometimes people have the question where they are in their LPCC journey. And I don't know, Roberta, like if there's anyone here who's currently in LPCC and feels they need to wait before they jump into next level. And I'm thinking since
Sure.
it's the last one, come on in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You just
absolutely.
have to know you'd have calls and things, and maybe it's like, oh, I'm adding this to my schedule. But in my personal learning, I'm like Michelle, I'm always taking classes. I can have that phenomenon of, oh, I want to integrate what I've already learned and I want to wait to do it. But I have found for myself, and you have to know yourself, that if I keep going, I start integrating what I just had faster because I'm in the structure and the discipline of having to practice and practicing with each other. And it helps me integrate faster. When I wait, I go on hikes, I walk the dogs, I do, I'm not doing it. I'm not thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah. So just wanted to say that.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
thank
you.
Thank
you.
you very much. It was very good.
Hope to see you in class, and if not, hope to see you on Zoom or around the world somewhere in our future.
Yes.
Take good
Right.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.